I am so happy with this pants pattern. The fit and style are nice and it's a free Mood Society PDF download. These Penelope pants have pleats in the front and darts in the back for a great contoured look and a simple fold and sew waistband. Apply the back zipper and you're done in just over an hour. I have sewn a size 2 today and I found that the body and finished garment measurement charts are perfectly accurate. I sewed these pants in a medium weight linen. You can find great colors and prices on Amazon. I'll leave the link below. I'll also leave a link to the invisible zipper foot I'm using, an inexpensive tool for making invisible zipper installation even easier. Sew these pants with me, I think you'll love them too. Let's get started. Before I start sewing everything together, I'm going to finish the crotch curve, the inner leg seam, and the outer leg seam using my serger. I'm going to do this for both front pieces and both back pieces. Now that those edges are finished, I'm going to start working on the front pleats. I'm going to be forming the pleats from the right side of the fabric. Along the top of the front pant piece, there are 2 notches for each size line. For each of these notches, I'm going to create a separate notch 1 inch away in the opposite direction of the crotch curve. Now I'm going to fold the material from the original notch to the notch next to it, once again folding it away from the crotch curve. Once the notches align, I'll pin them in place. And I'll do the same for the next set of notches, starting from that second original notch, carrying it over to the notch I created. And I'll repeat for the opposite front pant piece. Now I'll take these to my machine and baste the pleats in place. Here is the wrong side of the top edge of my back piece, and I've transferred the dart onto this wrong side of the fabric. Now I'll pin the dart in place, doing this for both back pant pieces. Once we've pinned both of the darts, sew from the top to the point, leaving thread tails at the point so you can tie them in knots. Press those darts toward their respective center backs. Place your front pant pieces right sides together along the crotch curve and pin in place. Sew the crotch curve with a 1/2 inch seam allowance and press the seam open. Now place your back pieces right sides together along the crotch curve. And we're going to pin the bottom section of that crotch curve together, and I'm going to pin about 4.5 inches worth. Now I'll pin this 4.5 inch section, once again sewing with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, backstitching at both points to secure. Now I'll place my front and back pant pieces right sides together, and I'll pin both of the outer seams. Then we'll sew these outer seams from the top to the bottom of the leg on both sides with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then I'm going to press the seams open. Now with the front and back pant pieces still right sides together, I'll pin them together along the inseam, making sure to match those crotch seams. Now I can sew the inseam starting from the bottom of one pant leg, sewing with a 1/2 inch seam allowance along that crotch seam and down to the bottom of the opposite pant leg. Then I'll press the seams open. Here's my waistband piece, and I've applied interfacing to the wrong side. Now I'm going to fold the piece wrong sides together in half and give that a good press. I'll quickly mark the center of the waistband along the raw edge, and I'm going to take this piece to the serger and serge those short edges together along both sides. Now I'll start attaching the raw edges of the waistband with the raw edges of the top of the pant, first aligning the center fronts and pinning in place, and then aligning the edges along the back. Then continue pinning the waistband and the top of the pant together all the way around. Now we can sew the waistband to the top of the pant from the back opening to the opposite back opening with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Finish those raw edges together and press them down toward the main pant. For my pants, I've chosen an invisible zipper that's 12 inches long. I'm going to open up the zipper. I'm going to take it to my ironing board to press open those coils on both sides of the zipper tape. Now I'm going to place one side of the zipper right sides together with its corresponding back opening. As we do this, whichever side you've put the zipper on, the opposite zipper tape will be laying on top of the same pant leg that you're working on. We want the top zipper stop to be flush with the top of the waistband. And you want the zipper teeth to be a 1/2 inch away from the finished edge of the pant. Because the width of my zipper tape is already a 1/2 inch, I'm just going to line up the edge of the zipper tape with the finished edge of the pant and pin in place. Pinning in place all the way down that zipper tape. Now using a zipper foot or an invisible zipper foot, sew as close to the zipper teeth as possible from the top to as close as you can get to the bottom of the zipper. Now that I have one side of the zipper installed, I'm going to turn the pants inside out, and I'm going to close the zipper. Having the zipper closed will help me align both sides of the pant so that everything is symmetrical. I'll place the opposite side of the pant opening right sides together with the opposite open end of the zipper tape, and I'll start by lining up the waistband seam, and with the edge of the zipper tape once again flush with the finished edge of the pant, I'll pin that landmark in place. I'll also make sure that the tops of the waistbands line up evenly, and I'll pin the zipper tape in place. Then I can open up my zipper and continue pinning the rest of that zipper tape in place. Now once again, using your zipper foot or invisible zipper foot, sew from the top to the bottom of the zipper in the same way as we did on the other side. Now close that zipper. And we're going to finish sewing that gap in the stitching between where we started our stitching earlier for the crotch curve and where our stitches stopped for the zipper. Just maintaining that 1/2 inch seam allowance, and you can use your zipper foot still for this step. Now for the top edges of the zipper tape that are extending beyond the top of the pant, I'm going to fold that zipper tape back to the inside of the garment so that it's flush with the top of the pant, and I'll use my sewing machine to sew that zipper tape to the seam allowance. And I'll do that for both sides. For the bottom edges of both of my pant legs, I'm going to finish the raw edges. Then I'm going to press those hems to the inside of the garment by 1 inch all the way around. I'm going to edge stitch close to the finishing stitches all the way around and repeat for the opposite pant leg. And now the pants are complete. Thank you for watching this sew along. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future sewing tutorials, and I'll see you in the next video.